Hello and welcome to a festive lesson here on Silent Night. We're going to dive in how you arrange this carol for yourselves. All you really need is the knowledge of 1, 4 and 5 chords, some thirds, and to be able to move up and down your fretboard. I'm going to show you how to use that knowledge to your advantage to make a fantastic arrangement for yourself this festive season. So let's just dive in straight away. Silent Night, the original guitar carol. Hello and welcome to the first section. So arrangement parameters, arrangement constraints, arrangement creative thinking. It doesn't matter which way you spin that, that is what we're doing here. Taking the original melody and finding a better spot for it on our instrument. Main considerations are highest note and can I exploit the open strings? So let's just dive in and see what the hell I'm talking about. Main point of contention for me was this. I wanted the melody to fall underneath my fingers, so obviously I transposed it back down into C. But again, I wasn't overly happy with that because of the way the classical guitar works, but also I want to really exploit my open strings in this tuning. I eventually opted for A major after going from D, original, down a tone, C. I then went down a tone again because I love the dark sound of B flat, and then semitone down from that, A major, which gives us all these fantastic chord shapes that just lie on the fretboard nice and easily, which we'll check out in a second. Main point though, find your highest note, work it down the fretboard to where you can really exploit it, and then try your best to keep as many of the open strings available. Your melody has got to fit in the compass of the fretboard, and you either start it on a B string or you keep it on an E string. So for us it was originally in D, and obviously this is the root to the third. Root, third fits nice and easily under your fingers, and you can then get some fantastic chord shapes underneath it to really exploit the hell out of your guitar and still have some open strings to play with, which is the main thing. That's how I arrange open strings and high notes. So that is the first top tip here in this video. C major obviously is great, but the fifth of C is a G and the fourth of C is an F. Whereas in my new key, the fifth and the fourth are open strings, which makes a huge difference to arranging this piece. Alright, melody in A, not played at speed, just trying to find the notes. So obviously open first. Can I find it anywhere else? Yes I can. Then we have this bit here, which probably could be played there, but it's a little bit thicker. And then here, open for sure because we're going down to D. Stay. Now obviously you could, and you can hear the tone differences, so straight away my ear is already making choices for me, but we'll get back to that. Repeat it then. So a high note, perfect, and then here we have, and now I'm already hearing, I'm already starting to make choices there musically as well, because I like that idea, but I think it needs extending. Okay, so that is your melody. Try and find your way around it. It could be played in a few different places. Alrighty, next section, harmony. You need some basic theory to get to the stage where I'm at. I'm staying with the original in this video for the moment, and all you need is chord 1, chord 4 and chord 5. What do I mean? So I'm going to just quick deep dive, staying in A. Our mother scale, Do, Re, Mi. Chord 1. Chord from it. Chord 4. And then finally, chord 5, which has to be a dominant, so that we can go back to Paul, which we'll get into another video. So that is a deep dive on what you need to understand the chords for this, and then you need to be able to see them on the fretboard. So I will be using a little bit of caged for that, and if you don't know what caged is, I have done some videos. I will drop a link below for that. Let's take a look at what the hell I'm doing here. Next micro study. Putting it into A, finding the melody across the fretboard, which is the most important thing, and then finding the chord shapes. So we're going to tackle this in two parts. The first part is obviously finding the chord shapes, because I think a lot of people struggle with that more, whereas the melody kind of tugs at your ear and you just need to move your fingers around to find the right spots. That's not a problem. So part A, let's dive in and have a look at the chord shapes. Okay, chords, here we go. So obviously I would suggest you find your A's where you need them. First A, nice and easy, you should know this one. Second A comes off the bottom of this full E shape, but you'll generally be using that. And then we're going to use an extension of it, but with different fingering, because we need that G sharp in the melody. So I already making choices here about chord shapes. You can see it's not the best fingering for flipping in and out of it, but it helps us with the melody, which is the most important thing. There is one more A that I think is important for this arrangement, and that's because we have an A here that we might need, so because there's your high note. So those are all the A's. That's chord 1. Chord 4, obviously you should know that one. Then again we have it here, which is going to be a good choice for us. There is also this fantastic chord in the middle, which again, if you hear this, that's a very classical, and you can switch between the two, chord 1, chord 4, and then again I am making musical decisions already. It kind of happens as I play through all of this. I'm being creative, and I'm being creative and fun with it, so that's what you need to do. So anyway, chord shape D, 4, and then if you really need to, there is one here. That's going to be your choice. Finally, chord 5. So obviously we've got the full chord shape, which we're probably not going to use in this arrangement because of where the melody is, but we might use this with the 7. We're definitely going to be using this one here, which is the bottom end of your C shape. And we're definitely going to be using the dominant 7th in the middle. And again, you can already hear tiny hints of that melody. And making sure that we can do that with our notes, bass notes. Because again, once you start zinging along with this arrangement, you're going to want bass notes in there, aren't you? So those are the chords, that's the melody. We're going to check it out in the next step and marry the two together. Here comes the fun bit. Woo, we get to do some playing. Now, I already, and in the piece of the sheet music you get, I have already done like an arrangement idea for one simple reason. I'm not going to play it now, but I have done chord 1, chord 4, and chord 5 on bars on their own, just to check where they sit on the fretboard and whether they are comfortable and functional for myself. So that's up on screen currently, and you can see that. It's a very simple bass line. You can already hear that that's starting to make a little bit more sense as a piece of music. I've done that just to see if I could put chords and melody together, but we're not going to do that in this video. That is the next video. Here we go. We're going to marry up chord shapes. First two. Super easy, lovely, bright. We then have this one. Good. No problems there. E. 4th finger here, bar across for this chord shape. Probably not going to use this one here. Here we go. Because it all fits underneath my fingers nice and clearly. And then we're back to A again, staying in that position. Open string or down to D. A. Now obviously you can do this But you can already hear a difference there. Then we have this fantastic E here. Now, I already have a problem with that because my ear is telling me that is a dominant position and it doesn't sound crunchy enough. So I am going to switch that bar into here. And then because I am here, I'm going to switch into... So that's already... There's your 5-1, nicely placed underneath the fingers. And then we have... And again, I'm noticing that I'm stopping bass notes and making sure that the right bass notes. So we have an A first. Good. E could be played at that position. I would use an open string. Stopping that bass, obviously. Stopping that bass. So your job is to now do that yourselves. And what I would like you to do is tag me in the videos. I want to hear everybody's arrangement. I'm sure we could get together at the end of the month and maybe do possibly even a community vote and see who has the best arrangement. So, food for thought. Alrighty, thank you very much for staying until the end. This has been your daily dose of festive 6-string inspiration. The next video in this Silent Night series is going to pop up a little bit now, and I'm going to show you what you can actually do when you start adding bass notes and some other little refinements.